Hey.
2024 is coming to an end. We are here right in the beginning of November. You can see there's quite a bit of some temperature change happening behind us.
Yeah.
Lots of stuff going on, but most importantly, we're going to be working on our homestead for 2025 and what we could be doing to get ready for 2025. So I thought it'd be great to have the homestead extraordinaire with me. You know, I have a full-time job. I mean, she has a full-time job as well, but she's able to be here a little bit more with her job and able to kind of see the homestead on a day-to-day basis that unfortunately, I don't get to have. So I thought it'd be great to sit down and let's put to use what our 2025 is going to look like.
Okay.
So I wanted to kind of start in each area and talk about our homestead and what it's going to look like in that area. So let's start with the easiest one, right? Let's start with the easy ones.
What's the easy one?
Chickens.
Chickens.
So
right.
First off, are you happy with what happened in chicken-wise 2024? And if not, what are we going to do differently in 2025?
2025, we're going to get spring meat birds because I did not like the winter birds.
Doing them in spring they get a lot bigger than what they do.
They get fatter. I don't know if it was the bash that we got. I don't know if it was the time of year. I'm 100% sure that it's the time of year. It could have been the batch too, but we always have meat birds on hand in the freezer. And this year to not have any kind of broke my heart because they were so small. We had plenty. They were just too small to actually do anything with. We've got a pretty big family. They're not getting bigger. Like, we're not getting bigger. Like, we don't have more kids, but they're getting bigger. Like, we have 2 adult children. We have, our youngest is going to be 6 here next month. So they eat more.
Yeah.
And for me to have to go to the store and look at Sanderson Farm chicken or Purdue chicken and have to buy that. Whereas this little boy, this is the first year we've had to buy chicken.
Yeah, in his life, this is the first year we've had to buy chicken.
It's the first time I've had to buy chicken. So, I mean, yeah, we've swung by Chick-fil-A and gotten some nuggets or Mickey D's on a long road trip, you know. But from us and our home, this is the first year that we've had to buy chicken. And it kind of broke my heart just a little bit not to be able to fry up some chicken.
I think once you do meat chickens in the yard, I don't think you ever go back to doing chickens from the store. I think there's just 2 completely different things. And until you've really gone through that, you don't really understand how different they are. Like, they are just extreme opposites in flavor and texture.
You get so much more than just meat. You get the experience of raising your own food. You value that food. You don't want anything going to waste. You've got stocks. You've got a whole analogy. You've got a whole anatomy, biology lesson right there with your kids when you're butchering them down.
Yeah.
You get the whole spiritual impact when you get to that point with your children.
Yeah.
It's a whole family thing. And I think it gets us closer together. You value the food. The kids value the food. The kids have helped raise them and grow them and nurture them and put time and effort and energy into them. And it's just worth so much more.
I agree.
Beauty of life, the beauty of continuing to live, the beauty of the whole thing. We've got stocks and we make everything almost from scratch here.
Yeah.
We don't buy a bunch of seasoning packets. You came home with seasoning packets that you made seasonings for. And it's all about, for me personally, because one of our kids is allergic to preservatives, it's about preservative-free. So when we started that trip a long, long time ago, that helped propel us into this area where we are just making 90% of our food is made from scratch. And I just love that. And we just get to make it.
We get so much out of the chickens when we do the chickens because it's going to be, obviously we get meat. I break about half of the chickens down. We do about 75 birds at a time. Half the birds will immediately get broken down into sections. So we'll put the tenders, the legs, everything off to each individual spot. And then we'll leave about 50 to 75, depending on how many we do. We leave about 50% though whole so we can break them down later, maybe as we need them, or roast a whole chicken, or maybe we sell one or two off to somebody who's looking to buy some farm fresh chicken. It kind of gives us some options when we don't completely break them down. Then you get the secondary uses that we get out of it. So secondary uses are things like obviously stock. Bone stock is really important in the kitchen. I'm a chef, so stock is really important for us. The stock you get off of yard birds are just
fantastic,
super good. And it's really good because even on first rendering, because we do 2 renders, meaning that we'll put bones on the liquid, then we strain it out, and then we put that same liquid back on fresh bones. But even after that first stock, or Remy stock, it's already gelatinous.
Oh,
and
yeah,
that lets us know that
yeah.
we've got something really good going on.
Yeah.
And some of that comes from the feets when we use the feets, if we have good usable feet. Our second usage that we get out of this is dog food. There's lots of
liver.
Yeah.
Livers and the heart.
Yeah, there's lots of good dog food.
You can totally eat chicken livers, if that's your thing. It's just not my thing. It's not our favorite.
It's not my favorite Southern food tradition.
And we've kept some for Granny, and we've kept some for other people that are really close to us. And we've sold some before there's a lady that goes, oh no, save me all the livers. And we package them up and we flash frozen for her. And we sold that. We got good money from those. But for us, it's not our favorite, so we cook that off.
Tend to pass that off.
Yeah, we tend to pass it off.
Almost
cook it
give
off,
it away.
And the chickens enjoy those meaty parts that they're high in protein.
Yeah,
So.
the bones typically we do that second batch pretty hard. We're not making consomme, which is like a super clear soup with our stock.
Yeah.
So I don't mind if it's a little bit cloudy. I could strain a lot of that out. And we'll do like a really deep boil on those bones. And that's going to allow us to be able to mill those down, package those up into little bricks, and we freeze them. And that gives us dog food as well. So it's a great option to really kind of get extra usage out of that product that otherwise would be going in the trash. Same thing with the legs. Mary Eve, she's awesome at this. She'll dehydrate them. And then get them super crispy, and they're fun to have as like a quick dog treat. They're cured at that point, and the dogs love it. And because we took it to a little bit different flavor, it doesn't entice them to eat the chickens, and bother the chickens. We've only got one on the farm, and it's not her fault. She's just not trained around chickens. We had bought her. She was already a couple years old, so we're not going to blame old Marla Jean. We're just going to let her be her old grouchy self. And
she's a little on the ornery side.
She's a little on the ornery side. But other usages, though, are things like we made a really great jerk chicken sausage. Mm-hmm. That was a kind of a great secondary usage that we used up some of that chicken for. Kind of takes it to a different level, other than just having, just raw meat sitting around. Canned some up before as well.
I love to can meat. I know you don't like it particularly, but it is my favorite thing to do because we get busy sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes my work, like this last week, I was 9 days in a row I was at work and long hours. To pull something out of the freezer when you're just like, I'm running late for home, I'm running late, everybody's hungry.
Yeah.
It takes too long. So to pull a jar off the shelf and put it with some rice and boom, I've got dinner. It's so much quicker. I can have fried rice with some chicken, a teriyaki chicken, or I can have, what is it? Broccoli beef or something, like that, or what we had for dinner tonight.
It does make it.
So it's just convenient.
It does make it a lot more convenient when it's not frozen because you can just pop the lid, make it quick. I use it more for soups. It's really easy to kind of pull out because you got the stock kind of built in there when you can it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a 2-for-1. It's just going to get more flavorful sitting there on the juice, right?
For sure.
So it's a good item to have for just straight convenience. And then you don't have all the preservatives, all of the additives that are added into that chicken to make it whole, whether that's in a can or store-bought from the fresh and frozen section. Because, yes, they do put things on that chicken to make it last longer.
One more thing about canning it is you don't risk freezer burn.
Very true.
And for things that you do need frozen, like pork butt or whole turkey, you're saving that room for those larger pieces of meat that you haven't cut into yet or haven't cooked down yet and repackaged into what it
Yeah.
needs to be. So it does save us a lot of room in there. And I'm sure we're going to get a couple more shelves soon for my canning closet.
Yes.
So we can just load it up. And something else that's fun, like chicken spaghetti, turkey spaghetti, you know, something that's super quick and easy and ready to go. But
I'd like to this year, still a frozen product, but I'd be interested in doing, we've been working on a massive outdoor smoker here on the homestead. This will be really excited. This is the first time Jonathan Boyd, have ever smoked a whole hog. And so I'm really excited about it. We grew the hog literally, you know, technically over 30 feet to my left, but their pen goes over in front of us as well. It's a big L-shaped 2-acre plot that they've been on for the last year. And so really excited about finally getting them onto the smoker. But I'm interested in maybe putting some of those chickens on that smoker this spring to be able to pull that meat and have some great smoked product as well. That, again, you just vacuum pack it. So I'm very excited, though, to be able to smoke that chicken. And basically what we'll do is smoke it, pull it all off, and then be able to cryovac pack individual, maybe by the pound. And then we'll be able to, from there, be able to just hot water bath and have delicious smoked chicken. You know, throw a little Alabama white sauce on there, have it, you know, nice and decked up and ready to go would be absolutely killer. So what about...
You could can it with the sauce.
It's mayonnaise based.
Let me do some research.
Okay. All right. That'd be... Yes.
I'm telling you.
So what about the egg layers?
I don't even know what's going on with those girls. Them girls is crazy. They don't lay. They started laying really good last year.
Yeah, we got on a hot streak.
And then we have not seen eggs in like 6 months.
I'll say they're just not consistent. The ones that did the best are the ones that had access to the pig poop. So we had the baby
and then they
pigs.
Just like, they pieced out.
Yeah. So I don't know if there's maybe there's a way we can rotate some chicken poop or this light is crazy.
Go again.
I don't know if there's a way to incorporate the pig poop, because I don't think we're going to do pigs. I think we got 5 pigs go into the freezer. I'm not sure what the freezer status is going to be.
That's why we have the canner.
That's right. That's right. What do you think the issue is with the chickens? Like, you know, going into 2025, what do we need to change for the chickens to you think, to get them on track?
I have no idea. We've put like the parasitic stuff in their waters. We've done the ACV in their waters. We've given them the greens. We've given them hog feed. We've given them like high protein feed. We gave them chicken scratch.
We've done a lot for them to try.
We've done a lot.
And kickstart.
We've put so much money into them that I'm done putting money into them.
Yeah, I think what we need to do is just change our breeder. I don't know if we can say where we got them from, because I don't want to badmouth anybody.
No. I have a feeling someone did research once and was talking about the feed.
Yeah.
That the feed was not to par.
From a particular major
company,
chain.
a big company, the food was not to par. So I'm wondering if that has something to do with it.
Well, I'll say the feed that they're eating secondary from the pigs, because the pigs are eating it, most of it. They kind of were leaving some all over the ground because they're pigs.
All organic from.
And that's what I'm wondering, if there's a difference between the local feed and then the massive
We'll see.
chain.
Well, why don't we do this next time you go down that way? Why don't you grab me a bag of that hog feed? We'll give it to the other girls and see if they decide to lay eggs.
See if we can kickstart them. I'll say that the chickens have been kind of hit or miss for us. When we were in Starkville, we had eggs coming out of our ears, and we were selling.
Actually, You never hear about people making money off of chickens. We were actually we were bringing in more money than we were spending on feed every week.
Which is a huge plus, because the goal is, honestly, it's just, I need the homestead to kind of break even. I don't have to make $1 million, but I need us to,
even if it
break
paid
even,
for some cost, some of the cost somewhere.
We were spending about $20 a week in feed for 75 chickens / turkeys.
We had a good deal on those feed bags,
and then we were selling probably $120 in eggs a week, because we were selling them about 12.
Well, I mean,
we were selling them by the dozen. We were selling them $5.
And we had quail eggs. We had duck eggs. We had quail eggs. And we had chicken eggs. Now, the quail barely eat anything. But that was pretty good, because I never ate the quail eggs, I don't think.
They were delicious.
But
they sold really well.
We had a couple ladies they wanted some they would call me every week.
Yeah.
And specific time and date, and we would deliver those eggs, and she wanted to buy the 24-pack.
Very nice.
So, and she paid top dollar for them, but
it was a good little heist there while it lasted.
The quail was delicious too.
Yeah, I'll say the quail was delicious. We ended up getting out of the quail business because one, we were moving. Two, there was some beginner's blues that happened with us. We were inexperienced, and maybe we didn't research enough a little bit. We didn't understand like how aggressive they could be with each other.
Yeah.
And they were like attacking and like poking each other's eyes out. And I think it's probably we had too many males, I believe is what I learned, is I had too many males in there. I honestly don't know if I could tell you how to sex males and females that well. Efficiently, we were
not my deal.
We were notorious for not being very good at sexing rabbits. So that's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother podcast episode there.
Apparently, we're not good at sexing cows either.
Yeah, well, that's a whole nother bloopers reel that we're not going to talk about. Ultimately, what it led down to, though, is just we just didn't have enough research in it. The way we were doing it was like 2 double stacks, and it was producing so much pee, so much poop, and then the flies were getting in it. And we're in Mississippi, so flies here are year-round. So it was very difficult and smelly, and we just did not manage it properly, and that's not on her. That's just the way it is, and I think just kind of beginners.
I don't remember any of that.
I remember the flies. Flies drive me nuts. I hate flies.
I just remember we had fun.
We had fun with it. That wasn't the issue. I really liked getting the quail eggs. Being a chef, it was really cool to kind of walk in and be like, I have organic quail eggs. Yeah. And then all of my other chef buddies are just foaming at the mouth for something that I'm growing right on my homestead. And that's why I got into it. I mean, I wanted to provide for my family, and that's a key part of it. But as a chef, like, I wanted the best ingredients for myself. I'm selfish that way. I want the best ingredients. I feel like we have grown the best pigs that we've ever grown, although this is only our 3rd attempt. But this is the best pig. We had the 1 pig in Starkville, then we had Kay and Phil, and then we've had these 6.
Yeah.
And then we've got those 6. But
that's
a whole other issue.
That is a whole other issue.
But I think the poultry as a whole, I think we've done overall through the years really well. I think this past year, we just did not have, 2024 was not our best poultry year.
We haven't had a decent poultry year since we've moved here.
That's an interesting take. No, we grew the best meat birds
by far.
Starkville.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not sure 100% if that was a issue with breeder. Like, did we get them from a different breeder? What we did differently. Now, we have always done almost the same method. This last batch, we did not. But we had an old guy talk to us about, he's like, just leave them on chick feed. He says, just leave them on chick feed for all 8 weeks, and you're going to have nice, big, beautiful birds. Give them some grit. Get them some things to help them with that. And when we did that, those were the biggest chickens I have ever seen. We had roosters that were well over 8 pounds. I mean, these things were like...
The first year we did it,
massive.
We went to butcher. It was week 10.
Yeah.
You got called into work. We went to butcher week 11, got called into work. went to butcher week 12, called into work.
Yeah.
They were 13 weeks old. We one rooster weighed in at 14 pounds. I will never forget
Yeah, it was a
that.
monster.
He weighed 14 pounds.
He would literally...
Bad boy would get up, waddle 2 feet, and have to sit down. Get up, waddle 2 feet, and sit down. We were just laughing so hard. But I could not do it by myself. We do have 6 children. Yes, they are very fully capable. Most of them are able to help us. But our youngest was an infant. And Paxton is very special needs. So I could not devote an entire day and a half by myself doing this. I needed his help. It had to be a team effort to do this to adults and then teach children while we do it together, because it was our first time doing it. So we weren't being inhumane or anything. The bird was fine. He was happy. He'd look up at you and
all he did was lay beside the...
He just
We
slept.
put him up every night. They had fresh grass and stuff like that they would have.
He slept with his face in the feeder.
He would literally just sit there with in the feeder the entire day. So for 2025, we mentioned, obviously we're going to do meat birds.
Yeah.
I want to go back to the all chick feed, because I felt like that was the highest success. Last year we tried to mix up the diet a little bit and do something a little bit different. It was a fun process to train and try something different, adding in some different corns, and there was some sunflower seeds and some different things we tried to add in to see how that would affect the flavor. Ultimately, we kind of learned a little bit that it didn't necessarily process down in their bodies the way that we thought it would. And we really became evidence. We had a couple that looked a little anemic. And then we had some that, like, when we opened them up for butcher, it was very evident that, because it was still whole as it's going through. So it might even been hurting the bird. They were getting grit. So please, we had grit and everything for them to help break it down. But it was just maybe it's got to be soaked, or we've got to try something, a little bit different next time we do that. They didn't get quite as big.
Yeah.
I feel like there's going to be somebody who states that it is the wrong thing to do to give them chick feed for 8 straight weeks, but
high protein.
It worked.
It did work.
I've never...
non-medicated chick feed.
Yeah.
Non-medicated. I just want to make that clear to whoever's listening. Don't get medicated chick feed. You don't want to be eating that.
I'll say that was our best, by far, meat experience. Now, they kind of plateaued off at about that 8 to 10 week mark. They didn't necessarily get much bigger between that 10 and 13 week mark. But we had a couple that were able to kind of catch up to some of those big roosters, because that one was a blend. The last couple batches have been all roosters, and they kind of grow a little bit more evenly. But when you get those mixed breed batches, it kind of adds time for those girls to kind of catch up with those. So that's our plan for the 2025. So we talked about...
That's our chicken plan.
That's our chicken plan.
Okay.
That's our chicken plan.
That's the chicken plan.
So focusing in on the feed, on the quality of the feed, I think is a big part of that as well for us this year.
Except for the meat birds and the layers is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
All right. That's a good game plan.
Boom.
Let's do this.